on today's episode of Based After Dark.
You were in the thumbnail between two men kissing. Do you think they saw that and you think that has anything to do with maybe the discussion today? Maybe they,
I really fucking hope not.
If you just took my stream persona and was like, this is me to a girl, that would probably not fly.
So, okay, I actually have a funny...
I don't like this country,
That's
dude.
what we
I'm
did,
not
guys.
proud of this.
That's what we did.
We didn't do that, bro. We didn't.
Where's the fuck's we, bro?
Yeah, no,
My people weren't even here yet.
Okay, dude. Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Based
After Dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Base After Dark, episode 53, season 2. Before we introduce a guest today, not the guest, the host today. Well, maybe slightly guest / host, who cares? I want to thank all of our patrons, all 252 of them. Thank you very much for supporting us. Thank you for providing topics and moving us along
Fucking
and
train wreck,
feeding
dude.
Saint Tits well. He's eating very good.
This guy doesn't know how to do this.
Today we are joined by Hamsey _IRL, Mr. Ignoble Solid, Nine Rain,
Hey.
Whoa.
and Mr. Saeder, John. That's his actual name.
Wait,
welcome,
your
guys. How we
actual
doing
name
today?
is John?
Yeah.
You've probably told me that, but
Honestly, one of the
forgot.
worst intros.
Yeah. John Bay.
Wait, what? Really? Damn, that's cool.
Dude, you're
No,
coming
it's
hot.
Saeder.
It's been a
My
few
real
months.
name's
You're coming hot
Saeder.
today. You're really bringing it today.
Wow.
It's good.
Okay,
I
anyways.
just can't do
Wait,
this
okay,
to Nine
who's
Rain.
on here
It's
again?
just
I just
too-
got here.
Like, if it was anybody else, but Nine
that
Rain's
was-
the boy.
Nine
Can't do
Rain
that
is
to him.
here, dude.
Ooh.
Dude,
Yeah.
Nine Rain, so good to see you, bro.
Yeah, you too, man.
We got fucking Saeder on here too, dude. Celebrity appearance.
We got a
Prison
cast.
I mean, I'm
show.
a part of
okay,
base
glad,
now, so
glad
I'm pretty
you
much a
can
host.
fucking keep us moving.
Oh, yeah, so
and
it is...
and we heard the feedback. We heard you guys. We know how much you love him. So for second week in a row, we did bring back Mr. Ignoble Solid. You know, everyone
Is that a
loved
real-
him.
Where was that
No,
feedback?
no,
I didn't see
dude.
that.
There was a ton of feedback, dude. They loved him, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
brought him back.
right?
Okay.
Guys?
Can we
You
see
know,
a little
I'm
bit
going
more of a
back,
tan line, Ignoble? You're
Oh,
saying you've
dude,
been getting
I
a lot
am-
of sun.
Damn, dude.
I'm
Whoa,
like
holy shit.
pretty pale. I'm a,
You're like... If you know, like your like inner skin, like
Easy.
if you're like a panda,
My-
that is
what do you
wider
mean by
than
that?
mine.
what do you mean? Are you calling me whiter than you? What do
Easy,
you mean by
man.
that?
Why you're treading
dude,
thin.
no. Ignoble's actually like colored like a panda bear. I don't see. This is not surprising. Look at that dude. That's literally two-tone. That's crazy.
Hey, man, if you miss a couple more months, that's okay.
Hey,
it's all right.
bro.
It's all right, man. It's okay.
I don't know
What
why
a
everyone gets so
fucking
worked
combo.
up. I don't know if everyone gets so worked up about it. This is a good thing where I come from, man. I wish.
You wish
You
you were
know?
two-toned? Well, let me show
Well,
you
I'll
my
get
penis.
like if I spend an hour in the sun, I'm gonna get like 3 freckles
Really?
So-
Ooh, dude.
at most.
I like if the sun hits me, I just start like cooking. I don't know what it is. My
I just get
body's just
red.
like
I'm already
"Ooh,
sunburned today."
melanin."
Dude, that's the thing about me is I'm always cooking. Dude, I'm just taking it in. What a fucking combo we have right now. This
Yeah,
is
we were thinking that too. We're like, this is a
Jesus
weird.
Christ, dude. I'm looking
Yeah.
at all you guys right now, and I'm like, God damn.
We do have
I'm also
a,
like, I'm a little like, I just got here. Sorry, guys. I made these guys wait to start. I showed up late. It's on me. That's on me. That's on me, guys.
It's okay,
It's
man.
alright,
We
man.
were just like
It's alright.
sitting here like waiting for you, Hamsey, and just like you know like awkward silences. That was us for like 20 minutes. And
No,
Iron's
yeah,
like,
no,
"So,
sorry.
guys,"
I was
yeah.
getting fully grilled by
Awkward.
my parents about like finding a wife. So
You just said you did want to talk about it before.
well, I'm talking about it now, man.
All right, man.
What the
All right,
fuck
go
you
on,
want me
dude.
to?
That's fine. I wanted
Wait,
to hear about
so
it.
did your parents ask you like if you're gay or something, or were they like? what do you think?
Not directly, but like, dude, they've been on my ass, you know. And you know, my sister got married a couple years ago, and she had a baby. Her baby's like 15 months old now, and you know,
Is
parents
it a
first.
younger sister or older sister?
Older sister, 4 years. You know, I got headroom, but
Right. I mean, that's kind of what. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know. And I thought once that the baby would get born, they'd be off my ass. That's
No, they
not
just
the way
want
it
more.
works at
They
all.
just want
dude.
more and more.
That's not the way it
Hmm.
works at all, dude. They've picked it up big time. Like ever since we got this other baby. And as she like grows in cuteness, she does all this like dumbass shit now. And it's like super cute. And it like makes them want more. It like they're like foot on the pedal now. They're
Hmm.
all over me. And not like they thought I was gay, but there were some questions about like, are you seriously, dude? I had to fucking like show them who the last like couple girls that I was in a thing with, and I had to like show evidence.
Oh, okay.
Not inside of, in a thing with.
Same thing.
Whoa.
Dude,
Well.
so like I was like literally showing, it was kind of awkward, man. Like just to get them off my ass. And also like, dude, listen, I get it, man. You see me staying in my, like, you see me staying at home playing some fucking RuneScape. Okay. You used to see me back in the day, like going out
Or an
every
Iron
night and okay, on an Iron Man nonetheless. The least bitch getting type way. So, okay, I get it. They had their concerns, and I was like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna put a fucking end to this. This is why I was late. I was like, I'm gonna put an end to this right now. I was sitting with them upstairs just now, having some wine, and I was like, these are the last handful of girls that I've dated, and I showed them. I was like, she is a dentist, and she's also hot as fuck. She's one of the worst people I've ever met in my life, and this is what she did. This next one is doing something I don't really know. She's consultant. I don't know what they really do. They achieve higher revenue streams and optimize your systems and create shareholder value, something like that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
You know, and I was like, and I was like, these are, I basically had to lay out the like last handful of fucking girls that I've dated and be like, guys, like I'm out there, man. Like you don't have to worry. Like I'm like, it's not my fault that like I get into the, like I'm doing it, you know, I'm doing it.
Do you
Sometimes
think
it's not gonna- they're
your
not gonna land.
parents? Do you think your parents possibly? So, on base after episode 51 is titled "Accidentally Going on a Gay Date." You were in the thumbnail between two men kissing. Do you think they saw that, and you think that has anything to do with maybe the discussion today? Maybe they,
I really
maybe
fucking hope not. They see me hanging out with a lot of dudes.
yeah. You
I
know?
love my boys, though. I love my boys. I cherish them.
I
How
would
much
be
do
more
you love the
concerned
boys?
if
Though?
I-
How much do you love them? Is the question really?
I fucking love you, Seth.
Yeah,
I'll
I would be
fucking,
more concerned
I
as a
fucking
parent
love
if,
you, dude.
if my son was only hanging out with women. I'd be like, that's
Oh yeah,
That's pretty gay,
that's
dude.
weirder.
Yeah.
That's gay.
It's like,
That is so gay.
hanging out with
This
women
sounds like
is
RuneScape
super
player
gay.
code.
That's no. That I mean, dude, if
That's so
you're
true.
only hanging out with girls,
Yeah, if
That's
the
fair.
ratio
Especially
is
hot
like
girls.
4-to-1, you're gay. Like that's
What's the
It's
per?
pretty
What's the
gay,
goal?
but
I would,
like,
I would
I'm not-
argue.
like, I agree
I would
with that.
argue that threshold is even lower. Maybe like even 2.5 to 1. Like
sure,
at that point,
but
you're
at
like,
least 4. I mean,
Yeah, I think it depends on kind of
'Cause-
what hanging out is too.
Right,
like,
'cause then you're in,
obviously,
like-
you know.
yeah, because if you're in like a group and they're having girl time and you're there, you know, at that point.
You're
So-
fucking pillow fighting with them at the sleepovers. Like, ah ha ha.
Yeah.
That's kind of a
fun.
W.
Yeah,
I think.
well, yeah, that's a you fooled them. You're like, I'm so gay.
So
I'm not
my
gay.
my
And
thing
they're
is
like-
that my thing is that I have like the same best friend group since we were like little kids. So we've all kind of grown up together, and I guess it's like 6 of us, and now as of very recently, it's like 3 out of 6 are now engaged. So now it's like we're teetering onto the second half.
Yeah, well, it's kind of about that time.
You're the
where
oldest.
that was,
Yeah, you're
like-
the oldest here too, right? You're the. How old are you exactly? If you don't mind me asking tonight.
I'm 30.
29.
Of my
He is
friend
not the
group,
oldest.
of my friend
I'm older
group,
than
I
him,
am of my friend group of 6, I am the 4th youngest. I'm the 3rd. Okay, if you take like all of us
Yeah.
and like
Dude.
you put like the half, I'm
Okay.
like the one under
Mm-hmm.
half.
Yep.
What age do you start
Like,
to worry
checks
at? Do you think
4th
you're 30?
place.
You're 30 right now. Are you worried at 35? Or are you worried at 40? Like,
Okay, that's a good question. I like
That's a
that.
So
Very good
I
question.
actually have a girl best friend who I have a contract with.
That's not the
about-
fucking question. Oh. Okay. All right, go ahead.
What was the question again?
My bad.
What age
What
do you worry?
age? Yeah, what age are you like, oh, fuck. Like, I got to find somebody.
Well, dude, personally, I was gonna say I have a girl best friend, and we have a contract for when we turn 35 if we don't find.
That's
love.
actually
We'll-
funny. I had one of those in college.
Yeah,
And
she's been
well,
my
it-
best friend since we were like 12. She's
Dude,
sick
and
as
it-
fuck. she's hot. Like we're great. Like she's my best friend. We have a lot of fun.
Why wait?
And
why wait?
well,
so the funny thing about that, I had a friend in college who I remember like she brought that up, and so we were like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny. And so like we did the thing where it was like, oh yeah, what do you think is like a good age to do that? And we're like, oh haha. And then at the same time I said 35 and she said 40, and I was like, what the fuck? 40? If you're single at 40, you better like that. 40. So I gave her some money, but I was like 40. I'm insulted. That's pretty. I expect a call sooner.
Times are changing. It's a little bit more normal now.
But it wasn't. This was 12, 13 years ago. So
Hopeful young kids,
right? Yeah, where 40 was 20 years away. And so, anyways, and then she reached out at 30, and I was like, I'm sorry,
Hamsey
like
is
that
30,
was a joke.
But I've seen the way you live, bro.
Damn.
You're 48.
I know.
Okay, you're actually.
You told
48.
her that was a joke?
Well, in a much
listen.
nicer way, I had to be
Look,
like,
I was just
hey.
kidding, that
Yeah,
part where
like
you said we
this
should get together.
wasn't-
That was a joke.
We got 5 more years. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, dude. I feel like a lot of people acting like I should be more concerned about this shit than I am. Like,
You're totally fine. You're totally fine.
You're gonna die soon. You should be concerned.
am I weird
well,
for not
that's a
being
pretty
concerned about
different
this? Like,
thing.
I feel like I'm getting my shit together, dude. I'm getting my
There's a-
career together.
Yeah.
I'm building some shit. Like, I got shit to do, dude. And when the time comes, the time comes.
There's a
Like, I'm just not worried about
like,
it.
I think like very good philosophical conversation. Like, what age are you supposed to have your shit together and be ready to get married? It's different for most people, but I'd say even in the last like decade or two, that number has shifted significantly later. I feel like even a decade or two ago, people are just like, you got to be married, you got to be engaged and married by the time you're 30. Otherwise, your life is over.
Dude,
You're fucking.
I'll tell you
you're
this.
dead.
Most of my friends who got married before the ages of, like 28, 29, 30, not going so well.
No.
It's not looking too good. Most
Fuck
of them, not
that,
all of them.
dude.
Some of them been successful, a couple, but a lot of my friend groups, a lot of them got a divorce and went bad just because I don't think they were ready. I don't think it was like.
Honestly, I feel
it
like
just,
these days, when you run into, like, I have a young couple. I mean, young. They're 29, and they're married. They've been married for. I mean, they've been married for a while. They've been married like 3 or 4 years at this point. For a 29-year-old, that's pretty young to get married at like 25, 26. And it's like not weird, but it's like, whoa, you're young and in this successful marriage. That's like strange to see at the.
Yeah, I have a good amount of friends that are married and it's going well.
Yeah.
I'm 32, will be 33 this year. So, and they're all kind of like within a year or two of me. And I don't know, things are looking up. I think only one buddy that's been divorced, but like we already knew that was a foregone conclusion.
But like,
So,
dude, imagine
like,
being
we,
divorced at fucking 30, bro. Like,
Dude,
what
imagine being
No,
divorced at 23.
It was at like
Yeah,
23,
20.
24.
I have a lot of
Christ,
Mormon
dude.
friends that got divorced
Yeah.
at like 23, 24. It's bad.
Because Mormon people get married super early, don't they? Like,
Yeah.
typically.
No, I mean,
Oh,
I
fuck
think
that, dude.
Seth asked the question, like, when is it getting like too late? Like in Mormon culture, it was like 23. You're like getting scared.
Damn!
You're like,
Really?
getting scared.
That's
Like, shit.
insane.
That's really
I mean, I
crazy.
It's
I
ridiculous.
I had a long-term serious relationship with a girl at one point who was from like a really small Kekona town, and I was always meeting her friends that were like 23, 24 with kids and married. And I was like, I would kill myself.
Dude, I have a buddy that's just exactly a year older than me. We grew up together. He's divorced and has 2 daughters, and he's still in the Mormon culture. And that's like social suicide. If you're divorced and have kids, you're
yeah.
just like.
Oh, I thought you were saying being Mormon was, and I was like, oh, damn.
No, I
okay.
mean, if you stay in that, like if you've been
Yeah, I get what
divorced,
you're
you're like
saying.
absolutely used goods. Like it's way worse in like.
I don't know, it's also just kind of like irresponsible, dude. It's like I don't know, like I work, like I'm pretty happy with the way my career is going. I mean, I got my shit together for the most part, but like I still got a lot of stuff to work on, dude. Like it would just be irresponsible to get married and have a fucking child, bro.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
I got
and
shit to work on. Like I can't be like setting my eyes on other goals that are much more bigger and long term until like I get all this other shit in place.
And well, another thing is like ignoble kind of started us off by saying it was a philosophical question. It's also a biological question because you get older, and so like it's not just a philosophical one.
Are you saying that women have a biological clock around your ring? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you don't want to wait too long.
No. I'm not saying that. That's like painfully obvious.
No,
but men do too.
Dude, I got you, Nine Rain. Don't worry, dude.
We're all gonna be dead in like 30 years, so you don't have that long, even to be like dad and grandpa. So you know that it's like
I'm living to be 100.
You can't just be figuring it out forever. Is the other half of the equation, and that's But I do also think that like pressure to be married by 23 is crazy.
That's nuts.
It's pretty down. It's pretty
It's
bad
not really-
in the
it's not really
area.
pressure.
In the area I live, it's pretty bad. Like especially, I think Saeder can speak for it too. In the southeast, it's very like the pressure's on pretty good. You know, a lot of it's I think religion, and then just obviously like parenting and just kind of I guess the culture down here. Definitely, people are pushing you to get married at a younger age for sure.
Yeah. So like a lot of the times people will tell you to live your life like them, and they're probably doing it from an okay place. Because they look at their life and they're like, these are the things that I like about my life, and I want those things for you. And so a lot of the times when you get well, but people really care about their families, their wife or their husband and their kids. And so they see that and they're like, well, these are the most important things in my life. Why wouldn't you want that kind of thing? And so like I think a lot of that comes from a good place. Although like I'm really thankful that I was single for most of my 20s and 30s. Well, like 20s and then, but you know.
Wait, how old are you? You said 30s.
Well,
how old
I was
are
like
you?
42.
Like for most of my 20s, approaching 30 is what I meant. And because it was just like I got to make a lot of mistakes that as a man, it was only me paying for them for the most part. So that was nice because if I screwed up, or I did something stupid, or like it's just my skin in the game. So I will say that that's besides all the other reasons. It's pretty nice being a guy, being able to have the time to figure some of that shit out, so you can actually have something to bring to a relationship and a family and all that stuff. Because the expectation is definitely there. So
yeah, that's
It's
definitely
like
the big
25,
direction you're being pulled
23,
into. Like
25. Yeah.
I'd say there's like two different directions normal people are getting pulled into. Is like one, you want to get your life together before you can bring a child into this life and build a whole life with some significant other. On the other hand, it's like
What is this other hand? Go on.
What is the other hand?
I lost my
Words,
fucking
go on.
train of thought. Oh
Can
god.
we title the podcast Hamsey's
Just
therapy
looking at
session there,
Ignoble's
bro? Get
face.
it together, man. Fuck.
No, like I
forgot today.
kind of see where you're coming from, but it's like I think there's a
swallowed
certain
it.
point. There's only a certain point you can get your life together.
I remembered.
before you start doing things like
I remembered.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
He
The
lost
other
it
one
again.
is that you
old
want to
fuck.
be able to have kids at a young enough age to where you can like actually see your kids grow up.
Yeah,
Maybe, like,
yeah.
young
That's like
parents.
you do not want to have a toddler
That's
when you're
fair.
turning 50. Like that shit sounds crazy.
Yeah,
I think
You wanna
my
be able-
old
age-
enough to where your life is set, but young enough to where you can be a young parent.
I said
So,
this
like,
a while ago. For me, the
mid-30s.
age, like for me, is 35. Like
When you start worrying?
if nothing's going on by 35, like yeah, I would definitely start to probably worry a bit by that point. Until that point, though,
So-
not really.
Closer than
What do
you
you mean by
realize. Seth.
35? Do you mean married by 35 or like completely single? Because by the time you get married to someone, you want to have like a time of relationship dating. You want to have a time where you're engaged, and then
I think
you get
like
I think
married.
you
33,
gotta know-
34, I'd really be like, I'd be thinking about it already. So maybe a little bit earlier
You
than
should
that.
at
But,
least
I mean,
be
like,
with the
yeah.
person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if I'm not at least with the person, like getting to that or working towards that, yeah, I would probably be kind of
And
worried.
you should be trying for a kid. You ever like see like hang out with a couple and they're like, yeah, we're trying for a kid, and you just like think like, oh,
Must be
I know what
sick,
that
honestly.
means.
You know?
I know what that means,
God.
dude. You hang out with this
That's
couple
so-
and they're like,
that's
oh
so
yeah, we're
nasty,
trying for a
that's so
kid, dude.
fucking
I'm like,
cool.
oh, I know what that means.
That is a weird
I know what you
thing
two are doing.
to like. That's one of the few times in that group of like couples and co-ed gatherings where people are like, guess what we're doing all the time?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say, right? It's like,
I'm kinda
oh,
inside
we're
of
trying
my
to
life.
have.
I don't
Every-
pull
Yeah,
out.
just like
I know, and it's an
cream
oddly
pies.
specific detail. It's not like
yeah.
we have sex and we
fucking
have a
holding her
good
legs and
sexual
she
tells you
relationship.
she's-
It's like
she- We're trying.
You know what I'm saying?
She says, "Oh, we're trying. We're trying to have. We're really trying to have a baby." You look at the guy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, high five. Dude.
yeah,
dude.
right.
It's-
Yeah.
You fucking every
He's like, I'm
night.
sinking
Dude.
threes.
That's
and
what
all
I'm saying.
up
It'd
in
be cool
it.
with you guys because you guys would probably just be like, yeah, we've been fucking, you know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't try to sugarcoat. Like, we've been fucking every night.
Yeah.
We're
So-
trying to have a
yeah.
kid.
Dude,
Seth.
I'm shooting all my fucking all up in that.
I have a question for Seth. So if you're 35, like, and you're kind of getting scared, would you settle? Like, would you just settle at that point? Would it be worth to settle?
That's a
than
scary
to wait
question.
longer?
I
I
would
don't like
say
that.
no because, like, in my prior, like, I at least have some, like, I have a foundation where I can, like, live out my life and be okay in the solitude. Because, like, there was a part of me that accepted that and what I used to do for work. There was a point where I kind of told myself I didn't want that. And, like, the last couple years of my life have definitely been transitional as to where I have all this free time and I can actually see myself doing that now. Like, actually trying to have a family and trying to date somebody, all that stuff. So it's been actually a lot to work through. Because when I was in the law enforcement field, I didn't want a significant other. I didn't want one for the rest of my life. I wanted to be alone. I actually did.
Why?
Like, I just was happy that way. I was happy. I was enjoying it.
Really?
I didn't think about it. I didn't want it. I didn't want anything to do with it. And then after, like, I transitioned into doing other types of work, that mindset changed. Especially seeing my friends as well and, like, talking to them also. I guess, like, experiences changed that. My friends.
Mhm.
Do you think
A
we
lot
have
of
just, like
different
a
things change that.
biological thing inside us where, like,
With
you
some
know, at
biological
some time
urge
where you
and
just
some
like clips
clock
and you're
that's
just like,
ticking.
I have to pass my genes on
Right before I'm about to come.
connection.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta come.
He was
I
like,
gotta
I'm putting
come
it back
inside
in.
something.
I'm putting it back in for sure. Yeah.
Well, also, I think there is like.
I ain't pulling out.
Also, do you think it could be like kind of counterproductive or maybe more of a bad thing to be too good at being alone? Like, you're just fucking fine no matter what. I don't care.
Dude,
I almost feel like it's not normal to want to be alone. Like what
Humans are
Ignoble
so-
was
That's
just saying.
true,
Like there's
for
an
sure.
actual like biological like start like
Yeah.
you start having like dreams of like having kids basically. I don't know if you
I
guys
mean,
have
that's
had
my
that.
problem, dude. Sometimes I think I'm like, am I like too good at this being alone? Like, should I want to have someone?
Amen,
I
dude.
fucking
That's
am.
exactly how I felt when I was like working all the time, and I feel like more of it was just I was just kind of addicted to like grinding and working, and I just like I was like what Hamsey's saying. I didn't think about it at all. I didn't want it. There wasn't even like a sliver of me that wanted it. Like there was
No.
no part of me that wanted it at all to seek
But
it
also,
out.
when you're in that like grind set working thing, that's like when you're in that situation, big time.
Yeah. So,
You know, so like that's interesting because for me, ever since I was, I mean, I don't know, I always knew I wanted a family. I'll put it that way. And so, even when I was in my early 20s, like just out of college, head down, just working all the time, it was like I would get up, I would go to work, I would go straight to working out, I would go home, and I would have an hour of like thinking about my day, thinking about the next day, and then I just go to bed and do it again. Even when I was doing that, I still really wanted a family. So I didn't ever have a phase where I just didn't think about it. Like it was always a goal of mine, but you know, I didn't have like a PJ. Yeah,
I
what's up?
relate with Hamsey fully because I guarantee, like, because that's when it really hit me. Is like I was working probably 50 to like 80 hours a week, normal job, somewhere in between there. Sometimes at the high end of that, sometimes at the low end of that. I was working my ass off. I was also streaming probably 4 times a week for anywhere from like 3 to 5 hours of streams. I was also doing that too, and like that consumed me and kept me going. And like I didn't even have time to really even think about it or like worry about it. That's what I was saying. Like when I transitioned into kind of like this new life I have now, where I'm kind of past that super grind period, I definitely like started thinking about it more. I started like when I'm like hang out with my friends I haven't seen in a long time, and they're like happy and they have a family and they got the the little baby. I'm like, okay, it started to like work on me. Like, well, maybe there's something I can. Because I felt like before I couldn't acquire it. I feel like it wasn't even like I didn't want to put someone through that. I'm working all the time, like working at night, and then now, like it seems like I definitely could handle it now for sure.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, there was when I was, so there's that like period in time that I'm describing when I was probably 26, 27, where it was literally all I did was work out, and like get shit done. I was not sleeping well at all. I never slept well until I was like 28, 29. So like that was not new to me, but I was really not sleeping well.
Did you hit the 4 hours sleep, dude? I was always like 4 or 5 hours.
It was like 4.5 crappy hours.
Days in a row of that.
And yeah, and it was, there were some nights where I would lie in bed and then the sun would start shining the next morning. I'd just be like, well, gotta get up. And it was like I didn't even really sleep sometimes. And what was happening, I think, was like I never stopped and just turned shit off. I never stopped thinking about work. I never stopped thinking about like either creative projects or drumming or whatever I was working on at the time. If I was in bed, I had a video playing. If I was on a run, I had a podcast going. I literally never turned off my brain. And when I did that, finally, I kind of unplugged for about 2 weeks. It took like 2 weeks for my brain to slow down and stop torturing myself. And it wasn't until I did that I remember I started sleeping well. I started having dreams again, which I hadn't had for like 10 years. And then I started like thinking about the future and not thinking about tomorrow and later this week. And so that was in hindsight, that was a big one for me, was I guess like kind of pulling out of the grind and actually giving my mind time to process shit, store it away, and then like wander. That was huge for me.
When you're in that like grind set kind of mode, it's almost like you feel like you're kind of working on yourself and you feel like you're building yourself up. And maybe it's not fair to another person to get into a thing with them until you're at that peak level.
That's why when I was in that, like women I would talk to, I let them know straight, like off the, was like, if you dated me, you want to kill me.
I mean, that's kind of my thing right now. I'm like, yeah. I'm not like I have to tell you straight up that like I'm not. If you're in the state right now where you're trying to find someone to settle down with,
it's like you're not gonna
this
like
is not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like what you find here. Like this is not.
Yeah.
I remember being wildly unprepared to be in a relationship and offer like a woman who wanted a family anything when I was like 23, 24, just got out of college. I just remember thinking like, why the hell would you want to fuck with me? I even thought that about. I was like, we could flirt and it'd be fun and blah, and all that stuff. But like a relation, I was so thankful for the next 5-6 years of figuring stuff out, and it took that long or longer.
I also feel like I get like really bad feedback. I don't know, maybe it's just the way I'm wording it, but like I feel like I get really bad feedback from girls when I say this to them. I get called a child a lot, and I'm like, I feel like I'm like being quite the opposite, man. I'm like, I'm telling you that I'm trying to get my shit together before.
They're not mature enough to understand where you're coming from. That's like
well, it depends. How far do you get in before you do that, though? Do you like
not
actually like?
No, it's not even that far. But like, I don't know, man. I think it comes off as like, I'm like trying to just be a player and like.
So yeah. That was actually my thought was, just generally speaking. So obviously there's exceptions, but a lot of the times women try to use sex to get commitment, and men try to use commitment to get sex. And so to them, it might look like you are acting like you are going for commitment. And then once you are getting sex, you're like, by the way, I'm not commitment guy. So then they feel kind of like the rug was pulled out underneath them. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm kind of just shooting in the dark here, but that might be why the feedback is not very kind.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get the point across when you're
I think
I've got a lot of shit going on.
Do you get the sex first and then you're not commitment guy, or do you say I'm not commitment guy and then?
It's usually you get it first. And then
there we go.
Because I was gonna say, there's been times where especially when I was very young, where I did, I fucking, got the sex by, you know, basically going through the motions of commitment guy, when in reality it wasn't my intentions, which is wrong and fucked up. So when I got like older, I was very like upfront about it. And honestly, a lot of times, you know, there was a lot of like casual relationships I had with girls that actually ended up well, and they weren't bad, and nobody got their feelings hurt, and it was fine.
And yeah, and I'm also not dogging on you, Hamsey, because it like they're complicit in that, because that what that means in some senses, they probably had the expectation of, okay, well, if I give a little someone, then he's going to commit to me and start taking care of me and all that stuff. So it's like they were doing the dance too.
Yeah.
And then didn't like that you drew a line and kind of set the expectations.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to make it come off like when it's like, I'm not just trying to use you or anything, but like also, you know, life is short. Like we got to have fun, you know, we got to feel good. We got to experience all this sex and crazy and, you know, but also like, I'm not ready for that next level of serious intimacy.
I think all you
with
can do
know?
is be honest about it, right? Because like,
So you think right now, in this moment, you're still just not looking for that whatsoever? You don't have a thought about it at all?
I mean, it could be soon, but like I still have some shit to get together in my life before.
It's time for you to become a full-time content creator.
I mean, two of the last, yeah, I mean, shit, dude. 2 of the last 3 breakups I had were due to me just not being ready to take it to the next level. I'm like, you can move on with life. And one of those girls is married with a baby. The other one is married. No
Ooh,
baby.
how long ago? What was the turnaround? Because I was imagining. Okay, I was imagining when you said the last 2. I was like, one was 3 months ago. One was
No. Couple years.
I was like, damn, they really.
The third of the 1 out of 3 was the one who I had to call her brother about my disease.
Oh, the one you don't like.
Yeah, terrible person, horrible.
Oh yeah, how's that working out?
It's good. I
watched that
started
episode.
physical therapy. Oh, dude, I went to my second session and it was good. I mean, we're making strides. Dude, I had this one moment where this guy fucked me up so bad. Like I screamed.
I'll let your parents hear that.
You would have thought I got shot with a gun. The way I screamed, what this guy did to me, dude.
What are we talking about?
Did you break your spine?
I have a disease in my spine.
Yeah, come on, be sensitive, 9
dude, what the fuck,
Okay,
man?
we jumped some steps. I'm not trying to
It's
be
okay.
insensitive. I just missed the context.
No, it's not. It's not as bad as it
This
sounds.
is his third
I have
session today.
it's a disalignment in my spine, and it's pressing on a nerve, and basically makes my leg hurt all the time, and it makes my foot go numb.
What's that called?
It's like on the same length of. It's called degenerate disc disease, but it's like on the same
Similar to sciatica?
like thing of sciatica. Yeah,
Right, sciatica would be the symptom of the.
it's like the same. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Very
But I went to
prominent gay
physical
man.
therapy, dude. I went to my second session, which was like really my first session where I really got into it. And he's like, okay, so in order to find out where we move forward, I'm gonna have to try to trigger the nerve
Oh, fine.
that's being pressed. And I was like, dude, it doesn't really work like that. Like, dude, it's not like a position that I get in that hurts. It's like more like when I'm on my feet for prolonged periods of time, like that's when it starts to thing. I was like, you're not gonna be able to like just press a button. He's like, okay, so lie down.
Then
on
he pressed the button.
Oh my god, dude, he was like, lie down on the thing, and I lifted up my leg, and he's like, okay, now move your hip up, and I was like, okay, my hip's up, don't feel anything, and he's like, now move your foot down, and so I moved my foot down, and I fucking dude, you ever stepped on a dog's foot and like the sound that the dog makes? That's what I did, dude, but way more dramatic. Everyone in the office stopped and looked like, what the fuck? Like, you would have thought I got shot with a gun, dude. It felt like I got a sword jammed all the way through my hamstring, just up my leg. And he's like, okay, yeah, we found it. I was pretty sure that was it. And now I was like, you fucking knew that was going to happen, you fucking asshole. I was like, dude, why the fuck would you do that to me, man? Like, that's so fun. Like, dude, my vision went black. I was instant tears falling down my face. I was like, fuck you, dude. I had to like sit for a second. I was like, don't talk to me, man.
So what happens after that?
You get mad at him? Yeah.
No, I literally got
Little
mad at him. I was
pouty
like, I need a
face.
second, dude. I gotta like go
Why'd
sit.
you
in
do
this
that to
fucking-
me?
No, I literally, dude, I was literally pissed at him. I was like, give me a second. I gotta go like go sit.
Was this
and, like,
today?
No, this was like last Thursday. And the worst
was
part,
saying,
like my
you're
car
going
was
through
also
it,
getting worked
dude.
on, dude. I had to like pay $500 fucking to get my car like.
So when
dude.
they figure out that's where the
Bro,
pain's coming from, what do
listen,
they do after that?
From
What's,
one
like,
man
the
to
plan?
another, Hamsey, are you okay, man? You all right? You've been going through
I'm
it
fine,
lately,
dude.
boss.
Once I
Okay,
get
I'm
my
just
back
checking on you,
like
man.
realigned, it's from I broke my back when I was 15, fucking 15 years ago, dude. And like
Oh,
apparently
Jesus.
this shit grew back wrong, and now it's like pressing on a nerve, and now my leg just fucking hurts all the time. My foot goes numb for no reason, dude. Stupid as
Fucking
shit,
A.
dude. Like what the fuck did I deserve to? And now like it like hurts when I'm on my feet, hurts when I'm like holding weight. Like I haven't been in the gym in months. I'm out of fucking shape. I'm fat as fuck. Sorry, this is what I'm going through right now.
Shit.
Damn,
Look,
bro.
We'll
How
find
long
you
does
a-
it
we
take
will
to,
find
like-
you a bad bitch, and hopefully she will fix your life up. That'll
They
seem
said
That's
it'll
good.
be
not
like
how that
2
works,
months.
man.
Hope this is
That's
help
also
today, you know?
not
That's
even
not
with a
bad.
good bitch. That's
Well, he
but
said
a
it'll
bad
also be a
one,
year,
bro.
but
Okay.
2 months to a
Okay.
year. But he thinks it could be like 2 months.
Small segue, same topic. I want to ask Saeder. I think last time he came on here, you said that you were going on like a legitimate date. So I am curious. I'm actually curious. I was going to ask you a minute ago. How did that go, and what's it
Wait,
been like lately for you? I'm just interested.
Oh, I didn't explain the date. I thought I did.
I don't think you did. I don't remember.
I think
do
I
you
did.
Do you remember Hamsey, or maybe
Didn't
on
I?
your podcast?
For some people that might not have heard that are
Yeah, you
listening
can
right
give it
now.
TLDR. You ain't gotta go into
Okay,
it deep.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
No,
curious
those-
how it went.
Some girl on Hinge that this is back in April. We matched and we honestly hit it off pretty well, I think, just in the DMs over Hinge, and it was just like back and forth. It wasn't like some weird like one message a day type thing. It was like 100 messages that night, just back and forth. And
Damn.
then we met up the next week because I invited her to go watch Civil War. That movie sucked ass, by the way. Not the
Civil
Marvel.
War?
Not It's the A24 film.
Oh, that's the liberals
Yeah.
versus the conservative movie.
Yeah, it was just shit. It was
I'm
actually shit.
You want to go watch this movie? Which side did you choose? I take the red one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but we like talked and stuff, and we just weren't compatible. It was pretty clear from the get go. But we still went to dinner and went to the movie.
Wait, so what do you mean you weren't compatible?
It's like well, first of all, she's like a normie, which I've forgotten how different I am to like a normal person
That's a
at this
bad thing.
point. So she like works at an office downtown. She goes there 5 days a week, and she just
And that's a bad thing.
no,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
not
good
a bad
thing,
thing. But the way I was explaining, because I'm just like brutally honest at
She
this
ain't
point.
clogging.
Like I'd really try not to overshare too much unless we're both doing it. So I'm just
So what do you say
telling
you do
her
for
like,
work?
a little bit. I mean, she came into my apartment and she saw the fucking like Save Cast posters and shit, and my stream set up, and I had already explained it.
So
that I
I'm
was
not
a
trying to put
content
words in
creator.
your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're saying you freaked her out.
Yeah, but we were also not like super compatible in a sense that
In
like
what sense?
her last boyfriend, they dated for like 5 years, and he was like,
What did he do for work?
I don't know, actually.
I love that
Deloitte?
segue.
She told me a lot, but she-
I love this segue of
Consultant,
we were not
Deloitte,
compatible in
providing
No,
the
he was like
value
he was
and
no, he was like
optimizing
he was like a
operations.
MAGA.
I like
He was like a
love
MAGA
your
cult member.
definition of consultant, Hamsey, because like I'm a consultant,
Dude,
and
I
hearing
don't
that
fucking
is
know what
fucking
any of these.
hilarious.
I don't know any of you motherfuckers do, dude. Fucking.
I don't know what I do.
Optimize and operations and.
All I
and
know is I'm
streamline
actively hurting
revenues.
people, and I make money off that, so it's kind of cool, or not very cool.
So okay, Saeder, what do you
Yeah.
say when you're on a date with a girl and she asks you what you do for work? Like, tell me as if I'm on the other side of the table.
Yeah, well, usually because it's all like online, it's usually over text, which is just a lot easier to just like display.
text
what
it to
you're
me.
Doing. Yeah, so I would just say, I'm online content creator. I'm a podcaster.
Oh,
I'll
God.
like if I'm really trying to flex,
Man,
I'll like
that's
say the
fucking
monthly
cool,
the
bro.
monthly
Dude,
downloads.
You gotta say media
Dude.
publisher.
Yeah, media. Sure, there you go.
Dude,
I mean,
honestly,
publisher works for
Saeder,
Google.
like
The
as,
thing is,
as
what's
good as
so-
the podcast is,
Yeah,
like,
nothing-
I'd put that last.
The,
like,
the
just
worst
full-
part is like I just want to be honest at this point in my life, and I still can't, which is just so painful.
wait,
for
so
me.
what
like,
do you say? Do you say that you're a content creator, or do you? say
Yeah,
that
no,
you're
I
like
just say like I stream old school RuneScape. It's a game that I been playing
Too
for a
much
while.
detail. You should have cut out. You should have just been like,
No,
content
but it
creator,
depends.
you know?
I'm not saying that right off the bat. Like when we start talking, I'll explain what I do. I'm not like trying to hide it because at this point, hiding the things, like if this does go somewhere, I don't want to eventually have to explain the awkwardness later, even though that's probably the move. It's just weird, and I think just dating is just really awkward for me because I want to just be myself and not like have to be ashamed of what I do or like.
I was gonna say you should just hold back on
awkward.
that. You should hold back on that and just let that way you can really see if you are compatible. Like just the basic of you and the person together. Do you enjoy their company? Do you enjoy their time? Are you guys having fun together?
Yeah, that's probably the way.
Yeah, and then explain it later. Because like if that's there, then that shouldn't matter that much. What you do, as long as you're.
I would never tell a
successful
girl
and-
that I was on a podcast.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But again,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's like I actually do that, so like
The only reason my
I'm
current
just never
girlfriend
supposed to
found
tell her
out
what I do. It's
about
just
my like
weird.
streaming anything was because it turned out we had a mutual friend, and then like to her, I was just a very normal person. Our first like two dates, our mutual friend was like, "Hey, did you know that like he streams?" And then he sent her my Twitch,
Oh no.
and she was just like, "I saw a whole different side of you,"
Oh,
and
no.
I was like,
That's-
Nah,
Did it
fuck
work
that,
out
dude.
though? Like,
"Yeah, I'm still dating her."
Yeah,
And
so-
it's like it worked out, but it's like she was like, "That was a lot."
but
to
she
take in."
probably needed to meet you first and everything, right? In
Yeah,
order for
yeah,
that to
yeah.
have flown.
I feel like
by.
if you
Yeah.
just took my stream persona and was like, "This is me" to a girl, that would probably
They call
not
police.
fly.
So, okay, I actually have a funny. No. I can totally vouch for what he's saying because Bree met my fiance met Ignoble, and before meeting Ignoble, she had listened to the Bass podcast a
Oh,
couple
no.
times, and even Bass
With you on it?
Ignoble. I guess she just told me one day. She was like, "Oh yeah, I've listened to a couple of the Bass podcasts. They're pretty funny."
did she play old school? I don't actually know much about.
Actually, she did way back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She and her brothers and her dad used to play.
chopped the tree, clicked the tree.
Dude, her dad's still
fucking
playing
noob.
RS3.
Dude, why are you being weird?
Oh shit! Oh,
Like,
alright,
to
so-
this day.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
but anyways, so she was expecting. I had to be like, look, because we were gonna go meet up with Ignoble. He was in Austin, so we went to dinner, and I was like, Ignoble's a lot more normal in person. I was like, first of all, based after dark Ignoble, and then there's Twitch Ignoble, which is weirder. And
Okay,
then there's
so why the
and then
fuck
there's
he's normal
Twitter
when you guys
ignoble.
bring him around, but when I bring him around to my friends, he's fucking asking my friend Jad if he's gonna drop the fire cape. Like, dude, I see Ignoble in the corner of this house party, and he's showing this guy's Twitch stats. I'm like, dude, that's not.
That's
They don't-
crazy.
They don't care.
Yeah, there's like
we should kill you for that. We should kill you for doing that.
they're like just to better explain. There's like Ignoble on the Saeder cast. That's like the really normal version. Then there's the Base After Dark. Then there's the Twitch. Then there's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Twitter.
yeah. There's
It's like
like
you
this
don't
I
want
actually
to
hung out with
Cascade.
Jad this last weekend, Ignoble.
Oh,
hopes you're
tell him I
doing
said
well.
what's up.
yeah.
But
name is
no, I'm
Jad?
glad. His
Yeah,
name was
name's
Jad.
Jad, and I introduced
I'd
Ignoble
ask
to him, and he
him
goes,
about
"Oh,
Red
are you
Cape.
gonna drop the fire cape tonight?"
That no,
It
that's
was
good.
funny. It was
I
pretty
would
funny.
not pass up that opportunity. If I'm
Thank
being
you, Nine
honest.
Rain.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on my side.
Yeah, dude.
There's clearly
I
a
was-
lot I need to learn about dating because it's just not going well. But yeah,
Is
it's
that the only date you? That's it though, right?
yeah. I've talked to a few, but I haven't actually set up another date since with anybody.
So, as disingenuous as like, I feel like this sounds disingenuous, but it's not. But like, when you first meet up with somebody, right? You don't show them every part of you, right? You don't. Give
No,
them
no.
No,
what they're
Okay,
It's
actually,
not
this is what
talking.
I was gonna say.
It was
is,
easy.
like the things I would reveal in terms of this realm. Like, first, if I made sick ass YouTube videos, that's the first thing. Maybe then streaming. And the last thing I would ever mention is that I'm on a fucking podcast, dude.
Look,
I
Well,
don't
it's
think
different
that
because I'm
is
not
disingenuous.
on a podcast. I podcast.
Sebe,
Okay.
You
yeah.
have your own. That's even worse.
John, are you proud of what you do?
John.
Do you actually just call me John?
dog.
Yeah,
Call
what's
him
up?
Who's
John,
that?
bro. Who the
Wait.
fuck is John, dude?
I'm never gonna get that in Crosby. His name is not actually John.
It's not
but
John.
you-
I
okay.
know it's not John.
I'm just making sure because you are the
I
type
was-
of guy.
I was-
I know.
Wait,
Wait,
Believe
who's
me.
Sean?
I'll
and you did
also-
believe me.
Look,
I
okay.
said John.
Oh,
just
Who's
for all
John?
those. This is for my own like sanity. so I'm not randomly called John now by random people online. My name is actually Saeder. Saeder is my
No
real name.
fucking way,
John.
docs.
Which
John.
is
Dox,
way
dude,
cool.
bro, just
Which
dox
is way
himself.
cooler than John, by the way.
Thank you.
You're crazy for admitting that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
changing
proud
my
of the
name to it.
podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think that's the bottom line. I think you
I
can talk
agree with
about
you.
it as much as you want.
Mhm.
If
I
you-
don't,
if
and I
you-
don't talk about it. I just,
Look, well,
if they're asking me what I do,
Right,
I
right,
mean, I'll-
right. But you should
Nah,
be.
nah,
if you're proud of what you do,
Nine Rain, don't paint me that I'm not proud of my pod. I'm very proud of my
that's not what I'm
podcast.
saying.
I love this shit, but it's just not hot to be on a podcast, dude. Like,
yeah,
for
but it's
most
hot
girls,
to be.
they don't-
But it's hot to be proud of what you do.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Fuck, good job. There you
So,
go.
dude,
Yeah.
he's about to get. He's married, bro.
No. That's wow. Good job. You really. That's actually. Yeah.
And so like at the end of the day, if you're talking about what you do and you're like, hey, I worked really hard for how long you been doing the Sabecast? Like 3, 4. It's like 4 years.
yeah,
Wow.
3.5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. I mean, you've been building a thing for 3 years that you're proud of. It doesn't matter what the
Yeah.
little like drapings are on top of that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm
And I
with you
think-
on that.
So,
Yeah.
I don't think you have to
Wow.
skirt around the
You just
topic.
fucked me up, Nine Rain.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked yet.
people
So
love-
Hamsey might have a point, honestly.
People
And-
love
No,
genuine
no, you
enthusiasm,
said
right? Like
straight
if you
ass
show
facts,
that
dude.
you are truly happy or truly enjoy doing something, you're proud of something you built.
Do I look truly happy?
people,
I've
course you
never
do.
seen you
Could a
look happy
depressed
once in your
person do
life.
this?
I've
feeding
looked into
fires
your
right now. I
eyes
hate
while you're
myself.
I've looked into your eyes while you're laughing and you still don't look happy, Saeder. If you
only time I've
This is
seen
down
happiness
bad.
on your
I'm
face,
kidding.
Saeder, is like a picture of when you were a kid before you played an Iron Man. That's it.
fucking
That,
Before that,
or a picture directly
Good
after
point.
he opens a casket and there's third age inside of it. That's also that's a good one. I was gonna say though, I think 100% what Nine Rain is saying is correct. But all I would say is when you like those first interaction, maybe the first date, second date, you like kind of just put that. Don't make that like the forefront.
Yeah,
Maybe
you don't dive
you
in
know,
too deep. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
first of all, that's like a little bit annoying and not really the
yeah.
point of
I
the
think
first
that's what Hamsey's
date.
trying to get at. for the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
part.
So
yeah.
but it's not because you're like trying to obfuscate who you are or anything, but you're just trying to meet someone and
you
have
have
a
to
good
present
conversation.
a version of yourself that like you. It's like a curated version of yourself, right? It's not you, but it's like you bring out your
Well,
good qualities.
you're putting your
interesting
best
parts
foot
about you.
forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's a totally fair thing to do. You should have a good persona that you can go into a situation and be like, hey, this is the best version of me. I hope you like it. That's totally
100%.
fair.
This is a good therapy
Dude,
session.
I actually do have. I want to go back to. I had two things I want to talk about. Going all the way back, way back. About somebody asked about. Hamsey asked PJ about settling, right? And that's where I wanted to ask. That's where I wanted to ask. Like, people come talk about settling all the time. It's like, oh, I settled for this girl. I settled for this guy who's not as attractive as me. He doesn't do well as me. Things like that. But like, at what point is it settling versus like choosing somebody to grow and adapt to and be with? I think people like are too quick to be like, just because they have so many options these days, like you can just swipe continuously on Hinge and stuff, right? You're always like, oh, there's somebody better out there. There's somebody better out there for me. This one's not the one. This one's not the one. Our fucking parents, our ancestors had like a choice of 4 women in the village, right? It's just like the person that they chose may not be like their perfect mate, but like you choose to grow and adapt with them, and that they grow into the the person that you're supposed to be with. No one's gonna day one be like, oh, that person's perfect for me, and there's gonna be no issues, and she's like exactly.
Dude, I
what
think
I need.
the settling aspect is all within you. You know when you're settling. You know when you're like going forward with something that deep down you don't actually believe in. Like you always know, regardless of what it is, whether it's like a relationship or anything in life. If you're not fully in on it, there's a part of you that knows. And I feel like with that, if you're feeling any type of resistance there, especially if it's early on, like you should get out. I feel like that's when you're settling. You're settling for sure.
So
Yeah.
I actually
I
think
don't
that this.
know.
I actually think that this is like first of all, I think people mean a couple of different things when they say settling, because sometimes when they say like settling, they mean like they prioritized other things, like being a 9 out of 10 hot was not that important anymore. And so sometimes that's what people mean by settling, but like, it's also an interesting conversation because there's a very real sense in which women don't typically settle, period, and they won't do it because they typically will only go for guys that they think provide as much value or more than them in the relationship. Because women
also have more
choosy.
options.
Yeah, well, but that's the what that means is men settle and women don't.
Okay,
that's
I
what
wanna ask
more
you guys-
options means.
I want to ask you guys: have you all been in a not long relationship, but
No.
a relationship long enough where you
Where I was
settle?
coming from with the settle thing is like there's like of all of my dating experience and some of the relationships I have been in, there's always something there that I knew, at least like, because everybody's like, you know, what they're looking for, what they want is different. But I think at the end of the day, everybody, you know if there's something there that you're settling on, like deep down, you feel it, you just know. And every single time it's been there, and it just, it didn't work out, but it ended up being, a good experience. But like in those experiences, I knew for sure.
So do you mean, and you don't have to get too specific, but like, do you mean like she was doing things that you didn't like?
No. I mean strictly on like, that you can do better and that this is not going to be the one for you, but you're just kind of sticking around.
So
I'll tell you specifically what mine was every time was. It's literally like, at least the more serious things I've been in is I did not fully enjoy spending time with that person. Like, it wasn't like, because I feel like at the end of the day, that's going to be your partner. It's going to be someone you live with every day. You're going to be hanging out with them all the time. So you should really enjoy their company outside of like the sexual motivations and like, other things that you can use to kind of pacify.
So it also is like, I feel like my thing is like, I'm so just content in whatever situation I'm in. And I dated a girl, like my longest relationship that I ever was in was like 3.5, maybe almost 4 years. And I was actually just talking about this with my dad just before we started the pod. He's the one who made me go, he doesn't know it. He didn't really know it at the time, but he's the one who made me go break up with this girl. I was super content, dude. There wasn't like anything wrong with her. It was just, I knew she wasn't going to be the one, dude, And I knew my parents didn't fuck with her that well, like, but they were like, cool. I mean, she's a nice girl, Definitely she'd be a good mother of a child, whatever, but she's just not, she's not the one. And I remember when she had just finished up her school, her medical school, and she was looking to get placed at hospitals. And I remember being at dinner with my parents, and I was like, yo, yeah. So she just finished, and she's looking at, she's applying to different programs, and some of them are here. It was a long distance relationship as well. She was in central Pennsylvania. We were down in the DC area. And I was like, yeah, she's looking at some of the programs down here. And my dad looked at me, put his fork down, and was like, if you want this girl to be your wife, bring her down. But do not fucking let her move down here if you're not going to put her. And I knew that they didn't really fuck with her that much. This is what really struck the heart. Because he was like, we will welcome her in with open arms. We'll let her into the family. She'll be one of us. But do not let her move down here unless you're going to put a ring on it. And I drove up the next day, 3 hours, and broke up with her.
That's a dad W right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
big dad
Seriously.
W. I was like, that's as
You're
much of a
amazing.
perspective as you can put it in.
He took
Yeah.
the gummies after that too, I bet.
Oh, this is way before the gummies, dude. This was straight edge Hamsey dad, like full on sober dadsy.
That's solid, dude. I'm telling you, I think
that's
like
good.
if with me trying to find like a suitable partner to be with is 100% the aspect of like that friendship aspect of genuinely enjoying time spent together, like regardless of what it is, the similar interests, stuff like that. That's always been the thing that's been that thing. Like I said, I knew like deep down, I knew like, this doesn't, I can't go through with this.
Would an accurate way of putting that be like, you wanted someone that you could connect with? Is that like a simple way of putting it?
Like a deeper connection, like more interest, and like, yeah, just that, like, I'm sure with are you guys actually married, or is your fiance?
No. We're still just engaged.
Okay, you're engaged. So I'm sure there's plenty of times where you guys are literally just sitting there in silence and you're just content and happy with.
Yeah. And we spend a lot of time together too because I work from home and
finding that is very difficult, extremely difficult. So like finding that type of connection. So I think that
and I will say like because we met on Bumble and I immediately just on her profile was like, okay, she's at least cool and interesting and smart, and so I was like, that rules out a lot of people. And so then we messaged like 5 times, and immediately I was like, okay, this is someone that I can connect with on at least an intellectual level, and we have a lot of stuff in common. So then it was like, okay, now we go find all the other things. Do we have the same values? Do we have the same goals? Is she a good person in a relationship as well? But yeah, the baseline was definitely that we like could connect and had a lot in common. So
yeah, that's because I'm not like super picky. I'm not even, I don't need a supermodel wife. I think that's what I'm looking for now more than anything. Looks are important, obviously. Like you want to have good sex, sexual attraction, all that stuff. But finding that's tough. That's tough to find. It's tough ass.
It's like once you get older, like to a certain point, you start realizing what your values are in a relationship, right? Because when you're like 23, like as Saeder was saying, people getting married. I was thinking with my fucking wiener. It's just I was literally like, is that girl hot or not? That's the only reason I would pursue her, right? And after a certain point in my late 20s, I was like, okay, like I do like hot women, of course, but it's like when you
she's got to cook and clean though too.
That's what I'm saying, brother. Thank you. He's got it right. But it's like you realize that there's way more to a relationship than that. Like I would much rather be with somebody who is like not Seth was like a supermodel, but somebody who I can connect with, spend my entire day, with her, quiet, not say a word, and just be happy in each other's presence. Like I would take that any day over like fucking Sydney Sweeney.
Why are you going like this?
We get your point, and we get it. And there is a line where you go, fuck it. But yeah, no, I get your point.
But like once you turn 30, dude, you start talking to girls and they look at you with they're like they stare daggers in. They ask immediately, dude. They like jump straight to it. Like, what is your intention?
Women 28 plus, they know what they want. It's terrifying because every single woman that I've been on a date in their late 20s, even early 30s, is like they are like picking you apart to see like, do we have the same values or do we? I want somebody who is very goal oriented, job oriented.
Yeah, they get into the serious questions.
They're like fucking in there.
And you look like a dumb young. You look like a dumb young stallion player because you're not ready to It's like saying that you're still working on your own shit. It's like you look like the dumb fuck who's just fucking a different girl every night. And I'm like, I fucking wish. I just am telling you that
I don't think it's a negative thing. Like I think you're taking it in a negative way, but it's like
I get it in a
they're
negative
looking
way,
for
though.
somebody. They're looking for somebody a bit more established, and you are still looking to establish yourself, and that's fine. You guys are in both. You're just in different places looking for different things, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think they're like being like you suck. You bring no value to my life. They're just like I'm looking for someone a little more established, and you are in the process.
You know what another big problem with this is like girls dating older guys as well. Is like, what kind of girls are you into, dude? Like they like an older guy will be knowing what they want, but like you're dating a girl the same age, she knows what she wants. You are still a young buck compared to her mentally.
Yeah, I think like what was it? I read a couple of studies about it. I didn't read the studies. I read like a synthesis of a couple of studies that basically said that it's like a 4-year difference. If you want to look at what the peers of 28-year-old women are, it's 32-year-old men. And so, obviously it's a generalization, but there's like a 4-year about gap that maybe in your like mid and late 30s tapers off, and nothing matters anymore because everybody at that point has been alive for so long. Who knows what the hell has happened? But
so you're basically fucked if you're a 30-year-old guy and you're into girls your own age.
Well, you could be mature for a 30-year-old guy, and then it would probably be fine.
Or you could
And
be
so-
mature and you could go in for older women, but you got to be extra mature. But like,
Yeah,
if
I
you're
mean,
like a 30-year-old
basically-
guy and you're trying to go for girls your own age, all the girls your own age are looking for different things than what you're looking for.
Yeah, there's
Well-
a good chance. Yeah.
Well, I'd say like people at 30, they are that dichotomy has like
Yeah,
expanded, right?
it starts. Yeah.
Like you in your 30,
Sure.
there are a lot of people who are very established in their careers and things like that at 30 because they've been out of school.
And then you
for,
have-
X amount of years. And then there's other people who are still in the process of establishing themselves where there's nothing wrong with that. People are on different timelines, but it's like you have to recognize that it's different for everyone. Like you are on different paths, and that your timeline is different based on somebody else compared to somebody else who might be the same age.
I will say by the time I went on my first date with Bree and like started dating again, I was no longer of the mindset that I was finding myself. I actually was like, I knew what I was about and what I wanted, and that was a big difference for me being able to go and date and be like, not worried about it. Be like, no, this is who I am, and I have these things to offer in a relationship, and this is where I'm headed, and these are the things I want. And it took me a long time to figure that out. It took me a hell of a lot longer than it was taking, young men 100 years ago, and it just is the way that it is. But there was a big difference between 27-year-old me and 31-year-old me, that somewhere along the way I figured out who I was and what I was about. And so, I'm not sure. I think your only job is to be up. I think you're doing a good job, Hamsey, if you're just being honest with women, like, these are my intentions and this is where I'm at in life. Again, I think if they get mean about it, it's because they were there's a good chance they were deceiving themselves and probably just like projecting what they wanted and, other things like that. And, if you're just trying to have casual relationships, then it is what it is. But, the odds that you find girls that are like, hey, I want commitment at that point in your life, if they're like 30, 29, probably pretty high. They're looking for someone to lock down and be like, hey, I'm dad. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty good about like communicating the way I feel about things, but like when you get the same reaction so many times in a row, it's like, shit, dude, am I saying this
I think you're too blunt, or you just put it out there? Like,
maybe I'm too blunt, dude.
I
float
think you're
something
fine.
out. Let me float something out, actually. And I'm not trying to call you out on shit because I'm not there, but there's a chance that the way that you're acting is not pointing to the same thing. And then you go and say it later, and then they go, oh. And you're like, hey, I never said I was headed that way, but you acted like it.
Dude, you're literally
Okay.
cult.
Well, my sister
Bro
told me
shows up with the roses, like,
when,
hey,
when I
not-
brought
and
this
I'm
up
not
to my
calling you
sister,
out
she told me
because
I'm a
You
little.
got a nice, sexy dinner tonight, but I don't want anything
I
serious.
brought this up to my sister, and she told me I'm a little bit too much of a romantic. What can I say,
Okay.
though, dude?
What does that mean?
I love
That's
love.
true, dude. That's true. He is.
I like
He
making a
is.
woman feel special.
He
dude.
likes to talk things up. He likes to really. That's probably what happens, bro. You talk him up too much. You're the
I
kind
want
of
you
the
to
Rizzler.
feel like you're the only woman in the world.
Dude, what?
all right, dude. Okay, all right. Now we get it.
Turned on.
Yeah.
I-
I was like, wait, Saeder, blink. He hasn't blinked in a while. Hampton's still talking.
Honestly,
I really agree with
Go ahead.
what Nine Rain said a while ago about like unplugging for a little while and just looking at yourself. Because when I was in the same, I think every guy goes through this in their like 20s, mid 20s or something, where this like have their head down, they're grinding towards their life goal, like whatever goal it is at the moment, they're working towards it, right? A lot of guys are in that position. But if you go in your late 20s, like I can pinpoint a time when I was like 27, 28 where I stopped, where like my grind slowed down and I had the time to really analyze myself, my previous relationships, and just me as a person, and nail down what I'm looking for in another person and where I stand, and I've been firm on the values that I look for, what I'm looking for in a relationship and in a girl. And ever since then, I've been confident enough to be like, okay, I feel comfortable going out on a date, even, like I am ready to be whatever that next mature man step is. I hit it because I had that time to sit down and reflect on myself. So I feel like if you're going 90 miles an hour at work all the time, put aside some time maybe to sit down and reflect. I think that's helpful no matter what.
Yeah, that was huge for me. And I now that I'm remembering being 27, the amount of times that I would be thinking introspectively and think to myself, God, I'm so thankful that I have the time right now to be figuring out my life, because if I was not single and if I had other commitments, I'd be fucked. And so I don't judge. I can't judge your 23-year-old Mormon friend who's already dropped the marriage. It's like, fucking, I would have done that. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was 24, I was in a relationship for about a year, and I was considering asking this girl to marry me. And I remember I kind of dropped the subject to my dad as like not to be like, hey, I'm going to ask her this week, tell me what's some advice, but to be like, hey, what are some things I should think about before asking her? And just me saying that, the way that he looked at me, I was like, I got some shit to figure out, don't I? And then I went and thought about it for like 6 years. So I really needed that time. So yeah, what Ignoble's saying is like, do women go through that? Do women need that kind of time to fucking cook? I don't like, and to like figure themselves out. It doesn't
I'm
seem
sure.
like that.
I think everyone in this
yes,
generation,
but
I think everyone in this generation is like collectively tripping while simultaneously being okay about like, like older marriage and older like having kids has become the norm. It's like,
Yeah.
like it's become
Yeah.
the norm of like pushing in that back a few years.
Probably
But
a
I
good
think
thing.
people are also collectively tripping about like, I also want to be young for my kids, and like have a life, a long life with my significant other and stuff, opposed to like being fucking 45 and like having my kid and can't even fucking get off the couch and run around with this little boy.
100%.
It is so important to like, I think it's good that marriage in general are getting pushed a little further out, because it lets you not just establish yourself in terms of career, finances stuff, but more importantly, like going through that phase of, this man phase of finding yourself for a couple of years. Because if getting married at 23 or 24 to me just sounds fucking insane.
It's
at this
insane.
point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Also, there's something to be said about, because we've talked about like, oh, women mature faster and yada yada yada, but there's something to be said about this, the fact that also I feel free to disagree with me on this, but I think the expectation for men in a relationship is higher, because there's like a sense in which a lot of the times like the husband takes care of the wife who takes care of the kids. And there's like an amount of attention that a husband will spend, and attention and effort and all those things on a wife that's not reciprocated as much, because she's putting a lot of that attention into kids or, other avenues. So I think there's a lot more of an expectation for the man to like figure his shit out. And if you
Be
don't,
ready for that
you
provider
can't-
role,
Right. Well, like, and if you don't, and it doesn't just mean like breadwinner, especially these days. But if you can't be at least like a solid foundation for the relationship, there's a good chance that women probably don't want anything to do with you. And so like,
yeah,
so like men really need that time, I think, which I don't know
mean,
what they
dude.
did back in the day. If
There's
high
a
school was
whole-
just like, if you just like were a man at 17, maybe, or if the expectation was just completely different and nobody thought about
I think
it.
they just had to pretty much figure it out. Like that's kind of like talking to people who are like my parents' age and like hearing their experience. Like kind of how it was is you have the kid early and you just fucking figure it out. You make it work.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta.
And then you traumatize the kids.
Exactly. Yeah, and did you see a lot of products, especially with our generation, is like there's clearly a lot of parents who were trying to make it work, and some of them made it work better than others. Regardless, I mean, all the situations are different, but like you can tell by the product of us. I'm saying like
okay.
what parents did it at a higher level than others. Like I mean, there's definitely there's so much that's going on there, but it's pretty clear with all the people I've met that there's been some situations where, the parents were trying to make it work as best they could, and the results of that vary all the way from like your most put together people to people who are mentally ill, etc.
Yeah, and there's also something to be said about the fact that we don't have communities anymore, really. So like,
no.
So then all the burden goes on two people, and it's like you don't have like a tribe to be like, and I don't necessarily mean like tribe, I mean that as like an analogy. You don't have this like tribe to be like, hey guys, what are we doing wrong? Because I'll tell you, one of the things that is the most helpful to me is when I'm acting out my roles. So whether that's fiance, but soon to be husband, or whether I'm acting out the role of son or eventually father, or whatever, is for other people in that role to be like, hey, that's not a you thing. That's every dad goes through that. Every husband has that issue. So it like really humanizes it, because I think a lot of times people are having problems in their relationships or their lives or whatever, and they think it's super personal and really idiosyncratic, when the truth is like probably everybody is dealing with something pretty close to that, or your parents or your friends or someone, and we just like don't have the space to hear about it. But when someone has told me, like I remember going through something in my relationship with Bree, and then I had someone who was much older than me go, oh yeah, that's just blank. That's cliche. And I remember thinking, you know what? That is cliche. That's actually really nice, because it means that we're not like really specially fucked up. It's a totally normal problem. So it's like, I think we like lack a whole lot of that.
It's true.
I think that men don't need therapy. They just need to have weekly beers with their guy friends and be able to vent about these types of problems. That's
Why
what it is.
go to
Like,
therapy when I can have some beers with my fucking boy?
Hey, and I will say, look, if I had known I liked psychology as much as I do, I would have studied that in college. But
dude, you've basically you've been at least 60% Hamsey's therapist a day. So thank you for being here.
I mean, dude, well, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just listening.
Well, the beer's doing the extra work.
I'm just listening, because here's the truth, and that's like to my point, is like therapy in its most like baseline form is just someone who's really gonna listen.
Yeah.
And who's also gonna really tell you the truth, what they think the truth is, and then you two talk it out and figure it out together. Because a therapist is just a human being. They might have some good tools, but like they don't really know shit more than you, unless they're older and more experienced, then likely. But my point is, like, you can have good therapy, so to speak, if you're just having like honest, open conversation. And there's actually a lot of evidence to suggest that therapy, the way it is now, institutionalized, is way more helpful for women than it is for men. And it's just a tool that's built a certain way, so why would you expect it to be exactly the same for both? And who knows, sometimes you just need to get outside, chop some wood, then sit down with the brewski with your boys and be like, hey.
Seriously.
And it's actually really nice. Yeah.
One of my guy friends recently confessed, he's just like, like I'm not super close with like, he's acquaintances with a lot of guy friends, but he said he doesn't feel super close to him. But the only times where he does feel close to like a friend group is maybe after a night out and everything, you end up like back at the crib, somebody with, either, winding down, smoking a joint, or in the kitchen with your boys, and you're just like talking about some deep life shit. And he's like, that, like, I crave that. He's like, I wish I had that way more frequently than I do now, because that is how I build my bonds with my friends. That is how I get my therapy. Like, I hear about, like, I can talk about my problems in a space where I feel comfortable. Because even just like out of the blue, you can't just walk up to your guy friend and be like, damn, dude, life sucks all the time. I'm fucking depressed. Maybe to your close friends, but like, you can't just go up to like an acquaintance, be like, damn,
that's true. Well, you don't want to be the guy in the group who's bitching, and like it says something too when like the person who is not that person comes up to you and tells you something that is not going well. You know,
Yeah.
when you're like, when the person who is typically put together at all times a day come to you and they want to talk, that is like, for both people, a good experience, typically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know?
big time. I'll say of all my online internet friends, Ignoble, you were the first person that I've ever had like a serious conversation with. Remember? San Diego TwitchCon. Us
Yeah.
sitting outside
We
in the
chilling
backyard.
outside?
Me, you, and
Yeah.
Matthias, dude, just filling it out. And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
man. That was when I knew these are my friends.
Yeah.
This internet shit, dude, this RuneScape shit, this goes deep, dude.
Well, thankfully for today's conversation,
that,
T
dude.
Papa was not here. Do you guys want to cover maybe one topic? I guess I can throw one out, and then we can do the Twitter workshop.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're just
Send it.
rolling into topics now. Shit, dude. How long have we been recording?
Dude,
God
this has
damn.
been this,
This is a therapy session, but I think this is very useful. Like,
Dude, why go
It's
to
a good
therapy when
conversation.
I can just jump on the Based After
I'm just
Dark
like, dude, I feel like
motherfucking podcast, baby?
I feel like there's a lot of people, especially demographic wise, who watch our podcast who probably are maybe not going through the same thing, but like definitely in the same sphere of like what, like that transitioning point of, am I gonna find the partner? Like, what am I doing with my life? You know, all those different questions. So like,
Yeah,
it is a
our
good, it's a
viewer
good conversation to
demographic
have,
is
it
dudes 18 to 30,
Yeah.
dudes
you're
98 or
listening-
99%. So yes, you're exactly
Listen,
right.
Yeah.
If you're
It's a good
listening,
conversation.
listen up. If you're listening to the podcast still by this point and you found this therapy session useful, drop a comment and say, this was useful.
Hey, that's to the point. Hey, that's yeah.
Damn.
That's
okay.
pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll pick one unless you got one, Ignoble.
Nah, it's all you, man. It's all you.
Okay, we'll grab one of these. Let me pick one, Saint. Just stamp this real quick.
Dude, I got one. Okay. Would you rather beat up your mom or beat off your dad?
Dude, don't ask that. We're not.
Wait,
no.
we've alady asked that.
No,
Wait,
we've asked
sorry.
Dude, like, come on.
Come on, yeah.
I was getting
I think I-
it
wait,
was
wait.
a silly guy moment. I don't know.
Wait,
I think I was
I think I got asked that when I was a guest 2 years ago
Sorry, I thought
on
you
like
guys- I
the.
thought you guys laughed.
Wait, what
No
was
one
your
laughed.
answer?
Fine, we can move on.
I don't
put that
remember.
in the pod.
That's a
I like,
lose-lose.
wait, I like this one. Come on, okay. All right, bring it back in here, Saint.
Yeah, don't put anything that we just talked about. Cut all that out.
Podcast starts
Okay.
now.
Every time you pee, you have to sing the full national anthem, or you can never take a shit longer than a minute. I'll give you
The
2
first one
minutes.
easy.
I'll give you 2
Easy.
minutes. 2 minutes. We'll give you 2 minutes on this shit
Oh,
because I feel
dude,
like
I
1
would
minute makes it too
sing the
easy.
national anthem every single time.
It's gonna
National
be
anthem.
sing the national
Yeah.
anthem.
Okay.
Easy to sell.
A minute
And
from
we
the
practice-
moment
it
Okay,
would
it
what if we
comes
give
a lot
out.
of
you?
good
What if, okay,
practice,
what if we
dude.
get? Okay, I was gonna change it too. What if we give you 3 minutes? You get 3 minutes of shit.
Oh,
Give it
shit,
10
dude.
minutes. and then
I'm a speed pooper, dude.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. If it was 3 minutes, you would take the poop option.
Oh,
I
Instead
have a
of
question.
national
I have a
anthem.
question for you, Seth. Is it like actively shitting for 3 minutes, or just spending 3 minutes in the bathroom?
You have
No,
3 minutes
no.
of shit. You have three.
Oh,
As soon as
okay,
you cross the
what time-
threshold.
when does
3
the
Can you
minutes.
timer
take another
start?
shit right after you flush? And just restart the 3 minutes?
No, dude.
No.
yeah,
It's
once
all
you hit
one-
the
it's
threshold,
all
bro,
one.
Don't do this, bro. Don't play your
there's
fucking mind
there's
games on me, man.
We'll just say there's an hour in between where you can't. You
I'm
gotta
singing the
If you're
national
gonna
anthem.
do that,
That's what I'm
Saeder,
saying, yeah,
if
yeah.
you're gonna do that, you have to put your pants fully back on, exit the bathroom, come back in, and
Yeah,
restart.
that's
Okay.
fair. Yeah.
But when does
Yeah.
the timer
I'll
start?
wear my
is what I'm
poop
wondering.
Once
pants.
you
I'll have,
break
like,
the
dedicated
threshold
poop
of the bathroom, whatever the
Pull up.
bathroom.
Wow!
poopy
Once you break the
pants.
threshold,
Yes.
My poopy
enter.
pants.
That actually okay. 'Cause
It's like,
sometimes
think
I
about,
like
You're in
Yeah,
the
it's like-
office and you see, oh, Saeder's
I
wearing
like
his
to like
poopy
get the
pants today.
lighting, right, and like put a song on and like.
I'm
light a
singing the
candle.
national anthem.
I'm singing the national anthem.
If you have
like-
3 minutes, you're still singing the
You're
national
also
anthem.
developing your voice. I mean, because the
might
national
just
anthem has
start
such a
doing-
large range of.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
good for you.
I don't know, dude.
Get a
I
little
think I'm
falsetto.
doing the
Bathrooms?
shit option. I don't
Just
like this
fucking
country
be
that
bad,
much.
bro. In public, I don't
Seth,
have to
Bathrooms
be.
are
Sing
good
it.
acoustics, man.
Sing it.
They're good acoustics.
I would like to perform a social experiment here. Who here can actually sing the entire national anthem?
I actually sang
Dude,
it
I
in my
can,
high
and I
school
can also
senior
play it
night.
on
really,
piano.
Really, I have the track right here, and I can play it right now if you guys want to give it a try. And do you guys want to get?
I'm not proud of this
Come
country,
on,
so
let's
I'm
you
not
know,
going
it's
to.
hey, it's 4th of July tomorrow. Like, come on,
Oh,
play
shit,
that
you're
shit,
right.
Tomorrow.
Saints. Come on, guys, let's get patriotic.
How was he
By
It's already
the
started.
dawn's
early light.
Light. Oh, fuck this country, dude. Like, what are we doing,
You
dude?
said you knew it. You're literally silent,
We
bro.
singing and the stripes, and we killed some.
And Brian.
And we killed.
That's
Okay,
maybe not. Don't
oh,
put that.
okay,
Go
all
ahead,
right.
don't do that.
Okay.
Put that. Block
Okay.
that out.
Okay.
Holy.
I don't like this country,
That's
dude.
what we
I'm
did,
not
guys.
proud of this.
That's what we did.
We didn't do that, bro. We didn't.
Who's the fuck's we, bro?
Ancestors
Yeah, no,
might have
My
done it,
people
though.
weren't even here yet.
Okay, dude. Fucking hell.
Oh
dude.
my God.
Oh my god. Sainted, you got this all like timed
We're gonna
out.
go back
right?
to
Dude, no one's
therapy.
listening at
please.
this point, bro. Nothing's listening at this point. Nobody's listening. It's fine.
No,
guys.
you're right.
No one
Restart
listens
it.
at this point,
We're
dude. We're so
They got-
no
they
one
got
keep,
20
no one's
minutes
listening
in.
at this point, dude.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this. Like, why are they
Holy
being
shit.
pussies this week? You know?
No
Now
one
they-
listens after the first like.
Why are they
20
talking
minutes.
about their feelings?
Yeah, why?
'Cause, like,
why are
dude-
they acting like humans this week?
Do you know
Dude, we
how
got
hard
real
it is
deep
to
in
get
it,
past
honestly.
like the surface of joking with your friends? Because like you have your jokey time, you're having a fun time talking sports, man things, and then to finally
Burping.
break down to the
Farting.
point where you can talk
Farts.
about a serious topic. It's like everyone has to be at the same level. Like not like
Yeah, because
you
one
can't just be
person
like,
will
yeah.
fucking like bring you back to the for sure.
Mhm.
You can have a couple of jokes here and there, but yeah, I was gonna say like this is this is a good day to have the therapy session. We have the
Honestly,
we have,
I'd say we did a good job of all being
we
on
have
the same
therapy.
level.
That's why I did make the joke of like if T Pop was here with me and him both here, we might have squandered the therapy session possibly.
Squandered.
It could have been thrown out
Yeah,
the side.
there's a good
so.
chance. There's a good chance. Yeah.
I'm gonna go the three. If I got 3 minutes to shit, I'm gonna take that just because I usually poop pretty quick. So I'm
No,
actually
that's-
take 3
I'd
minutes.
I'd have to clean up my diet a little bit more. Then we could do the 3 minutes.
I poop quick, but the thing is, like, the extra time you spend in the bathroom scrolling your phone, fucking around, just like
That's a
chilling,
nice
nice.
time for me. That's a nice
like
time
that.
for
That's
me.
like me time, Like I need that.
Yeah.
I'm shitting on company time. Like I'm not gonna fucking do that in 3 minutes and immediately get back to my computer.
Dude, I've been
Your
doing
shareholders
that.
don't matter.
Shout the kick.
I'm wait. I'm assuming when you pee while pooping, you don't also have to sing the national anthem.
See, actually, that's a good
Ooh.
question.
Well,
you got-
even then, I'm singing. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
care that
singing
much.
regardless of this whole
It
thing.
is what it is.
This whole
I
experiment.
hold my poop time as sacred. It's like I
Okay.
go there and it's me
Okay.
and no one else, and I lock
that
the
was.
door.
I'm glad I grabbed that one. That was
Question,
it was
though,
topical. It
not-
was topical.
Not like it affects it too much, but like, what happens if you miss the mark?
You
3
die.
minutes pass.
Oh,
Die.
yeah, that-
Oh, die. Done. Okay.
You're dead.
Somebody
Okay.
walks into your stall and shoots you.
Hardcore mode.
Yeah, this
Like
went
Seth
from
is standing outside your stall with like a fucking
No, that's
timer.
fair.
He's
Honestly,
like, yeah,
that
yeah,
keeps
go
it
on.
simple. Because
Yeah.
if it was like, oh, you get punched in the face or
Hope
something, then I could be
today's
like,
not
okay, I
the
take
day,
it.
man.
yeah.
No, if
Okay.
you're dead, it's game over. Like that's
let's
hardcore
do,
game mode.
Let's do the Twitter workshop, even though I have nothing because I suck. Anybody else got anything?
Damn, I might. Let me see.
I have one, but I don't know. It's bad. I'm telling you right now, it's bad. And there's no T-Papa to make me look like a god, so it's what it is.
Okay.
So-
okay.
It's
We're here for you,
literally
man.
just a string of 5 words.
We're here for you. Find it
Findom, Paypig, Tribute, Degradation, Breast Milk.
All right, don't tweet that, please.
I was not ready for that level
Don't
of
do that, man.
I don't even know what that means.
Don't do it.
Tweet? Yeah? No? Good?
And I'm gonna
for
go
sure.
no.
One yay, one nay? All right.
Yeah,
We'll,
I'll
we'll
be
see
good.
what the rest of you
Dude,
Honestly,
yeah,
I mean, I
bad
can't-
week.
I can't
I'm
talk
sorry,
shit,
I don't really have.
I've been slacking on the tweets. I feel like I've just not. I need to just make it. I need to make a time where I sit down and think of something, but I just never. It comes to me sometimes, but okay, I gotta do better. I'm sorry.
This
Okay,
is what
I
you
have
guys
an
get because you
interesting-
guys take viewer submissions and it makes you lazy on coming up with your own shit.
If you go to
You
After
tell him,
Dark,
Hamsey. You tell him.
the text channel,
Mhm.
I wanted to caption this so bad. I saw this in a thumbnail. It was like an Asmongold React video thumbnail or something like that. And I thought it was the most memeable fucking like douchebag pose I've ever seen in my life. And so there's no words involved, but that was my Twitter workshop, was there's got to be something hilarious that you could caption to that.
So I don't really have anything either, except I did just find
Wow.
this where the fuck is this video? I'll send it to you guys. I don't know. It's not like your typical After Dark type. But I was gonna quote tweet this and just be like, based meetups, be like,
Okay.
That's it?
no, I sent it to you. The
Oh, I see.
That's actually
you have to
really
look at the.
What the fuck?
Oh,
God.
Basement. Please do that.
Okay,
Oh,
I saw
God.
that. Is that from the $10,000 masculinity retreat?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Some fucking Sigma male shit. I love that,
What-
dude.
what am I watching?
That's like one of my favorite kinds of humor. Are they serious? I can't even tell. That's the best part, really.
There's
Right.
no way, bro.
I
10K?
love that. That's like some of my favorite humor, dude. Honestly, this guy might be
You can buy a
serious.
gym membership for life for 10K.
No. I love. That's like some of my favorite humor, dude.
Yeah, I got nothing. I had a Dr. Disrespect one, but I can't even say it on here.
You should say it.
I threw it. No, I'm not gonna
Say
say
it.
it.
I'm
threw it on LinkedIn.
really
That's
curious.
so last week, man.
Nine,
It's
nine,
too
you
late
don't
now.
have to
It's too
defend
late.
him.
It's
Please
too
stop.
late.
I know I don't have to, Ignoble.
Well,
I
when you
want
guys
to.
were talking earlier about the 4-age difference thing, I held back at least 5 different Dr.
Oh,
Disrespect
fair
jokes.
enough. Yep.
So, someone's been like taking all my tweets and sending them to my employer again.
Actually,
Really? Oh,
dude, you are like the L's are piled up on top of you. Like this is like you've been
I got
getting,
ops, dude.
You've been getting beat up, bro. Like you've been getting
got
beat down.
fucking
lately.
I got
haters,
ops.
honestly,
dude.
bro. Like I'm here for you though. You know, if we need to kill somebody, let me know.
Dude.
In RuneScape.
I legally
No,
I am not.
It's all
I am
part
not
of my.
agreeing with that.
They know. They're like, just what you do outside of work. They make it seem like I'm doing freaky shit, dude. They're like, what you do outside of work is fun. Nothing here is threatening.
Like, we're
We
not
just wanna
going to
let
judge
know.
you, and
That's
we're
so
not going to
funny.
ask.
And I'm
you're
like,
hey,
dude,
it's not
this
that
is
bad.
extremely fucking awkward and embarrassing. But I guess there's no like actual action. I'm not in trouble or anything. But it's like just fucking embarrassing to like sit there and be like, dude, this is like
Knowing
the
they
third
know.
time I've had to do this.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's
Dude,
a yikes.
they showed my tweet this time of me just saying Nancy Pelosi titties. That's the tweet. That's
Wait,
all I said.
I'm confused why whoever
I
is
thought it was
getting
Google.
these tweets is even who the fuck is even calling a meeting?
Oh, I got ops, dude.
HR.
HR
Who
hit
the
me
fuck-
up
what
and
the
was
fuck,
like,
they don't have
you,
better- No,
yeah.
actually,
Dude,
they
don't
don't
like
have
Pelosi's
something-
plumpers. Neither.
No,
honestly.
no,
gross.
they I wasn't in
I would
trouble. They were
bust
like,
all
you're
over 'em, dude.
fine, like just letting you know you're good. Like nothing here warrants any like action.
That's
Just like want to
so.
let you
That's
know
the worst.
that this
I
is
feel like
happening.
a
So
lot of people have been
I
in
just
that
had to
position,
sit there
so-
fucking awkward, like, okay,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. It was like a funny little I'm just a silly little guy.
It's one of those things where it'd be better if they just don't. If it's not an issue, just don't tell you at all. Like it feels so weird.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking was like,
Yeah.
why are they
I don't
even
know. I
making
like
it
to
a
know
thing,
that
but-
it's happening, but it's also like,
Mm.
okay, now we're
That's
all-
true. It's probably
I'm
better
always-
you know,
you're-
so now you don't cross any like major lines.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Damn.
Damn.
That's
I don't know. I think I tweeted at one point in the past like that I would start driving drunk to work on Fridays, but I was just kidding.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
If my employer showed me that, I'd be like, so this is clearly a joke, right?
That was
you
a
know
joke.
It's a joke. And if they didn't tell me yes immediately, I'd be like, what am I doing here? Fire me. Like, what? If you think
Yeah.
that that's serious, I don't know. That's crazy.
Saeder, you have anything?
No, I'm not a Twitter.
Alrighty, we're going
All right.
to go to the
Fuck
Patreon.
it, I am sending
podcast.
it.
Oh,
I don't care what you guys
please.
say, I'll
Okay,
post
that's
it.
I'm liking
fine.
it.
You
I'm
send that.
liking
We're
it.
going to the
Thank you.
Patreon podcast.
We're going to the
gonna talk
Patreon
about- We're going to talk
podcast.
about the. We're
We're
going
gonna
to talk
talk
about the
about
first.
the-
Dude,
No, if
the
you
shut
like
up.
Ignoble's
Shut
tweet,
up.
nobody will know you like it.
Stamp this. We're going to talk about the first.
We're going to
presidential
talk about
debate.
the
We're gonna
first
talk
thing
about
that
the
we
GDQ.
talked
We're
about,
gonna I'm going to
and
keep
this
saying it over
guy
and over
is,
again.
I fucking
We're going to
love
talk
this
about
guy,
the
dude.
first
He's so
presidential
handsome.
debate. We're
I
going to talk
can't
about the
even
GDQ.
think
We're
about
gonna-
how good he looks, dude.
We are going to go to the Patreon podcast now. We're going to talk about the first presidential debate. We're going to talk about GDQ, and we're also going to talk about RuneFest. We'll see you there. Thank you.
Don't skip. We have some news for you because we have recently reworked our entire podcast format. We will still be conducting one normal podcast a week, but now Tier 1 patrons will have access to a weekly exclusive Patreon podcast that's going to be even more based and more after dark. We've also updated our other tiers to include perks that allow you to directly interact with the podcast and influence the topics that we speak about. The Patreon will be linked in the description below.